First, hold out both your hands. We'll start with the 10 fingers.
Now, dear. Should be all right.
So you can build them that big, huh? Amazing. It's just that... Oh, wow! Fancy meeting you here. Could this be my lucky day? Anywho, I'm here on vacation. After traveling around Sumeru with you, I've only gotten faster and better at making fireworks. Business has been slow lately since it's the off-season for fireworks. After stocking up the shop with supplies, I decided to go on a little adventure and seek some inspiration. The plan is to have tons of fun before summer arrives. When I return with my new ideas, I'm sure my efficiency can only go up. I just got back from Hisi Island, and the colors all over the island were so beautiful. Oh, I'd love to make some fireworks that capture that feeling. So I took a few pictures to use as reference when I get back. Huh? Oh, right, of course. I've already figured it out. I just forgot for a moment. Got kinda caught up in our meeting and all, you know? I've gotten all the ideas from this trip. Right now, I'm working on getting some small gifts for my family and neighbors. Look, I got some local dried fish for Dad and midsummer berry jam for Mom. They're both specialties from around here. Right? Now, I haven't bought any gifts for the children yet, but I've heard there's an engineer named Aino around here. I heard she's super amazing. Word is that she built this cannon. I'm planning to pay her a visit and see if she can make some fun gadgets for the kids. I've also heard that she's a real free spirit, though. Won't take every commission, even if you offer her Mora. Should I bring something before visiting? I just don't know what she likes. Huh. So, Aino's a kid? And her family members are machines she made herself while living alone in her workshop all this time? That's amazing! The kid next door would cry non-stop if left alone for just one night. It would take the neighbors the whole day to calm things down after. By contrast, it seems like the people of Nausea Town already see Aino as a mature mechanic, not as a child who needs their coddling. Still, just how many nights did she have to spend all by herself before Neva came into her life? Well, we can't change what happened befur. But now that I'm here, I'm going to make sure she has a great time. Looks like it was the right choice to bring my tools with me. I'll head over to Nausea Town to borrow their crafting station and make her a beautiful gift. What should I make? Fireworks? Tumari? Or maybe a spinning top? You know what? I'll make them all. Fireworks, Tumari, and spinning tops. Yep, let's make them all.
Bina? Are you okay? You look a bit out of sorts.
Oh, it's you two. I'm alright.
It's okay. Just tell us. Even if it's something small, you'll feel much better once it's off your chest.
I would like to try a drink from the tavern.
What? Sorry, Paimon was just a little surprised. You never talk about wanting things for yourself, so... And that's it? Just... a drink? Yeah, kinda. At least something a bit more monumental. Like, bring me the moon. But, on second thought, it does kinda make sense. Palomina can't go wherever she wants right now, so a trip to the tavern might as well be a trip to the moon.
It's not just how things are now. Even back when I was with the Fatui, when there was no order to capture me, everyone still kept their distance whenever I went out for a walk.
Wait a sec. Come to think of it, maybe this isn't as hard as Paimon first thought. A tavern is kinda out of the question, but a drink? Now that we can do. The Travelers got this.
Really?
But don't set your expectations too high.
Flavor. I don't have much experience ordering drinks, so I'm not sure where to start. Perhaps something that isn't too... heavy?
What do you mean by heavy?
Heavy like... a Fatui overcoat.
That comparison makes it even more confusing.
Okay. Whatever you think.
Wow, even Paimon wants to try a glass of that.
I've smelled something like this before.
Oh, really? Where?
In Sandrone's room. She had a drink that smelled like this. The aroma caught my interest, and when she noticed, she just held on to the drink for ages without finishing it. It was like she was waiting for me to ask about it. Yes.
What did you ask?
Shouldn't you be drinking engine oil instead? She said something quite unpleasant. It doesn't bear repeating.
You lost interest after a single sip?
Sorry, it was a little bitter. All in all, not very good. No wonder Sandrone looked so sour when she drank it.
Paimon thinks there might have been other reasons for that.
Well, thank you for satisfying my curiosity. I'll be sure not to trust Sandrone's taste ever again.
Is that a mandragora? Paimon thinks that would make a pretty fun statue.
The Adeptus arts are most miraculous. But unless one first cultivates the mind before cultivating these arts, all their feats will be like the moon's reflection on water, shattering at the slightest touch.
Some of these shots are pretty good, but you didn't get any from the front. Let's wait for it to turn around. Yes! That's the one! That's the money shot! Ah! Help! Oh, that was scary. Paimon wasn't expecting it to jump us like that. Go on, Traveler. You got this.
On the right side.
Be cleansed!
That should do it. Paimon's kept all the pictures safe. Let's go back to see Nicole. Hey, Nicole! We're back!
That was quick. You two worked very fast.
It's nothing. But, how do we get the photos to you?
You can hold on to them for now. I'll be there in a couple of days. We can talk more about the statues then.
Sure thing! See you in a couple days!
Mathematics is the foundation of all things. If you're interested, I can teach you some arithmetic. First, hold up.
Just who I wanted to see. I'm delighted with the photos you took. Excellent source material. Now, I have all the carving tools ready to go. Would you like to try it together?
Carving tools? You mean these blocks?
That's right. The statues are inside the stones. All we need to do is remove any excess material. To make things a little easier for you, I've provided a guide on how the carving process works. Allow me to demonstrate. First, we make some big, bold cuts to carve out the general shape. The numbers on the stones represent the amount of material you need to keep in a given column. So, first we do this. And then this.
Oh, it's starting to take shape!
Got it? If you carve the blocks this way, you should be able to see the basic form. Then, you just need to add some finishing touches, and voila!
Wait, what? It suddenly changed in the blink of an eye! How'd you do that?
A great mage doesn't reveal her secrets that easily. Just behold, and be amazed. You got the basic carving process down, yes? Focus on that, and leave the finishing touches to me. Much obliged.
Alright, let's give this a shot! What the? This is way more difficult than the one you walked us through!
Oh, sorry, wrong one. That's the one I was going to work on. Yours is over here.
Whew, well that's a relief. Let's go! Do you still remember Nicole's process? The numbers represent the amount that we need to keep per column. So, if the number is 0, that means we gotta remove the whole thing. And if it says 3, that means we just mark the whole thing as keep, right? This one seems to be giving you some trouble. Need any help? Okay, after careful inspection, Paimon's found a piece that we need to remove. And it's that one! Looks like we made a mistake here. Reset and try again. one seems to be giving you some trouble. Need any help? Looks like we made a mistake here. Reset and try again. This one seems to be giving you some trouble. Need any help? Oops! Looks like we made a mistake here. Reset and try again. Now, we just need Nicole to add the finishing touches.
You got rid of all the extraneous stone, yes? Let me take a look.
It's done! Oh, it's the Mage's Lodge! When did that get there?
Is this the power of a mage? The young visitor's voice was filled with wonder. I am truly amazed.
Aha! Finally, the story continues. So, what happened to the mage and her young visitor?
They lived happily ever after. The end. Tough customers, huh? Well, if you're that eager to hear it, I suppose I'll take it from the top. All my heart desires now is to make your wishes mine, said the young woman. Those words won her the full attention of the great mage, Nicola Coco. But just as they had started warming up to one another, a group of uninvited guests stormed in, seized the mage, and absconded with her. As the youngster stood there in shock, a new mage by the name of Alenus appeared. She signed a contract with the youngster, bestowing the power of magic upon them. But after making it through a grueling training program, they would come to discover another conspiracy operating in the background. As it turned out, the great mage Nicola Coco was an alien entity. Her true identity was the first daughter of King Meowtress, the third of Planet Meow. She had come disguised as a mage as part of a secret plot to trick the entire world into worshipping Planet Meow. Oh, great mage! Have you been lying to me all this while? The youngster's voice trembled as their heart began to break.
Leave me. War is destined to break out between our planet and yours. We were foes from the very start. The mage turned her face away, refusing to let anyone see the tears welling up in her eyes. But the youngster bravely reached out and grabbed her by the arm, swearing to never leave her. Moved by this display of passion, the mage decided to rebel. But in that moment, Alenus, who had once aided the youngster, now took the side of the king. Alenus had been Meowtrus III's second daughter all along. She had only helped the youngster in the hopes that her sister might be incited to treason, thus giving her the chance to usurp Nicholas' place in the line of succession. Anyway, that's the gist of it. In the end, the youngster, who by this point had turned into a cat, worked with the mage to successfully foil the king's plot. Then, they returned to the mage's lodge together and lived happily ever after in peace and quiet. The end.
That was amazing! This story has everything! True love, rebellion against injustice.
That can't be helped. All creations escape the controlling grasp of their creator eventually. We angels are a case in point. Once, we were tasked with guiding human beings, but because some of us chose a different path, our entire race was punished. If even the heavenly principles can't fully control their own creations, what chance do I stand? Fate is always ineffable, and yet, I still hope I can guide those I meet towards a happy ending to their tale. That applies to characters in my stories as well. Anyway, the story's over now, and I'm running a little low on energy. Next time I've got a good story to tell, I'll share it with you, alright? Building my mage's lodge was quite a rewarding experience. But as everyone knows, any mage worth her salt owns more than one garden. It's time to pick a new location, I think. There is actually a very simple reason for it. If I only ever built one home, I might have to wait forever before someone stumbles in by mistake. Not that I'm looking to build a bustling tourism hotspot or anything, but it would be a little embarrassing if no one ever visited at all. It'd be a bit like spending days preparing for an extravagant birthday banquet, only for no one to show up on the day. And that is why I must expand my territory. A mage's power and might must be witnessed by the outside world, if only once in a while.
You should take it. It may prove useful. There is no harm in claiming forsaken possession. The moon is barely visible.
Yes, just like that. This will be more than enough to assassinate Varka. I'm going to assassinate Varka. I need ideas for assassinating the Grand Master. I went over this with Alice a long while ago. She stands with me, and has even offered several ideas on how I might take him out. Of all her suggestions, this one seemed the most promising. Bring a full cart of Mondstadt's newest dandelion wine all the way here, and then, before Varka's very eyes, tip the entire cart over the cliff. Perhaps the monumental, overwhelming grief will make him collapse, or go drown himself in whatever other wine he can find.
That doesn't sound like it'll work. Wait, no! Don't even think about doing something so horrible.
When writing a novel, the author, naturally, seeks to be as extravagant as possible, especially when writing detective novels. If the opening lacks a striking turn, how is the rest of the plot meant to unfold? Alas, this will be my final attempt at writing detective novels. Oh, I suppose they call them crime novels in Inazuma. In any case, they all tell of crime. There's hardly a meaningful distinction. I also discussed it with Barbie, but our novel writing sessions always evolve into crime planning sessions. Methods of crime and puzzles of deduction. We have explored plenty of those, yet the plot would not advance. The Angel Killer case. Try as they might, the culprit remained elusive. The desperate detective rushed into the crowd, then shouted the revered names of the 4 great rulers at the sky. Whoosh! Pitter-patter. Boom! Detective and murderer reduced to ash.
What kind of writing is that? Doesn't that leave no room for deduction at all?
Of course there is. It was only through painstaking deduction that the detective finally discovered the names of the 4 great rulers, learning also that shouting them at the sky would inevitably reduce one to ash. My point exactly. Simply deducing who the culprit is has become dreadfully unoriginal. The subject of one's deductions must be something more creative. I even thought of having a Seelie detective, an angel who, longing to become a detective, became a Seelie, and by some twist of fate, ended up as a detective's assistant. All Seelies love to guide people, so this one went about leading the detective from case to case. I found the idea rather interesting.
Come to think of it, the Seelie detective and the Angel Killer case seem far more interesting than assassinating the Grand Master. Never mind, guess I'll move on to work on that idea then. It's precisely because I overthink every little detail that I've lost interest in continuing. Not to mention the mountain of words I'll have to write. The very thought of penning all those words. Oh, what a hassle. And I can't even get a ghostwriter for this one. I'll just work on the Angel Killer case instead. But how might the detective deduce the truth? Perhaps he could have a conveniently informative dream. Seelie detective. Hold on. Why not have the Seelie guide that detective to assassinate the Grand Master instead?
The moon is barely visible.
Installation chamber.
Go get him, Aiden!
Without further ado, smite the
You got this!
divine light, shield them! There is no harm in claiming forsaken possessions. You should take it. It may prove useful.
All quiet. Maybe a bit dull, but dull's good.
There is no harm in claiming forsaken possessions. A gift from the heavens. I shall gladly accept it. There is no harm in claiming forsaken possessions. A gift from the heavens. I shall gladly accept it. There is no harm in claiming forsaken.
All the light shine.
Be cleansed! Ha! Light the dust! Annihilation mode.
A moonlit night for all.
A gift from the heavens. I shall gladly accept it. A gift from the heaven.
Defensive mode engaged.
You got this.
Take too long.
You should take it. It may prove useful. The moon is barely visible. A gift from the heavens. The moon is barely visible.
Surge.
Go get him, Aiden!
There is no harm in claiming the Forsaken possessions. The moon is barely visible. A gift from the heavens. I shall gladly... The whole world shares the bounty of the skies, the rain and clouds.
My oh my. The final product has exceeded all my expectations. If anyone actually does stumble in here by mistake, I'm sure they will be truly awe-inspired by this mage's might. Well, that all depends on the sort of person they are. Guidance can encourage complacency and entitlement if you're not careful. If someone is eager to rely on their own abilities like you do, then I'll gladly help them. But if they're the type of person who pins all their hopes on the mage's power while doing none of the work themselves...
Would you really turn them into a statue?
No, nothing like that. But I would guide them out of this place to the nearby Curatorium of Secrets. I'm sure Nefer would know how to deal with them much better than I do. Those who seek to reap without sowing ought to pay the price, don't you think? Building my mage's lodge was quite a rewarding experience. But as everyone knows, any mage worth her salt owns more than one garden. It's time to pick a new location, I think. There is actually a very simple reason for it. If I only ever built one home, I might have to wait forever before someone stumbles in by mistake. Not that I'm looking to build a bustling tourism hotspot or anything, but it would be a little embarrassing if no one ever visited at all. It'd be a bit like spending days preparing for an extravagant birthday banquet, only for no one to show up on the day. And that is why I must expand my territory. A mage's power and might must be witnessed by the outside world, if only once in a while.
Mathematics is the foundation of all things. If you're interested, I can teach you some arithmetic. First, hold out both your hands. We'll start with the 10 fingers. The Adeptus arts are most miraculous. But unless one first cultivates the mind before cultivating these arts, all their feats will be like the moon's reflection on water, shattering at the slightest touch. The whole world shares the bounty of the skies, the rain and clouds that grace the earth beneath. The moon was never meant to be a foreign realm.
Constellation Chamber to flame.
Three moons converge.
Light compels you!
So it wasn't a trap after all. So it wasn't a trap after all. Just make sure the intel gets back.